All right, hey everybody. Here with the Boss Podcast, or whatever we're going to call it from here moving forward. Today we've got one of my good buddies from early days of Boss, Andy Wycoff from County Line Boats.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, so I met you, let's see here, Game Fair 2019. It was our first year there. You were set up across the aisle further down towards the end, and you came up. I missed the first interaction, but it revolved around you wanting to use our stencil to put your logo, our logo on one of your boats.
Yeah.
I was in and out, moving around, and we had these crates. There's still some of them right around the corner there that we had that were painting the Boss logo on for the display.
Yeah.
And you came up and said, "Hey, can I use that stencil?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." Like, and this guy comes and goes. I think you were there when you wanted the stencil. Like, yeah, or was it one of your guys that was helping you at the show grabbed it?
I don't know. I don't remember that part, but yeah.
So then one thing led to another. I was kind of intrigued. I looked at the boats, and I think I ended up having you build me one. But it was later on with my design that I kind of made a Kevlar fiberglass Akumi plywood boat, and I had it modeled to make out of aluminum because before I did ammunition, I was looking at making boats, and then I met you, and I'm like, you can just have it. So then the first one I got, right?
Yep. So that first design with the rounded chine and a little bit bigger boat was kind of our brainchild.
Yeah. So then
several phone calls later.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So let's back up. You started County Line Boats when?
2000. I built the first one in like 2006, 2007.
Coming up on 20 years, so 18 years.
Yeah.
For yourself.
Yeah, I built the first one for myself.
Okay.
And then we built a couple for just the guys we hunted with.
And that was like the 10-footers that I just got 8 of that you delivered.
Yeah, so the first one was like a 12-38, something like that.
As a covered layout?
Yeah, like a sneak boat style. Yeah, like a one-man sneak boat style boat.
So what inspired you to do that?
So they were like really coming on the scene in the area we hunted, and like those guys were killing way more ducks than anybody else.
Where is this at?
In Missouri. So yeah. So we were hunting public land in Missouri.
And you're doing it like in a standard boat, like the Avery pop-up line, that type of thing.
Yep. And we were watching these guys push-pull these boats in like Inuits, and then going in and killing their ducks and then coming out. And we were like, we got to do something different. Yeah.
So you said, hey, I'm going to make one of my own?
Yeah, so we made some out of wood and fiberglass, and then
Same thing, yeah.
I was in a trade school program, and we had to do like a masterpiece project. So me and another buddy that was in the program were like, let's make some of these out of aluminum. So at the time, aluminum was cheap. It was actually cheaper than building them out of wood and fiberglass at the time.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Yeah. So then you said, we got a business here? Like,
so
how long did you do it before you went full-time only boat building?
A few years. So I worked 2 jobs. So I would build boats during the day, and then I would work a job as second shift. And I did that for like, I think a good 2 years doing that.
So by 2010, you're doing nothing but boats.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
So 'cause I saw your website before I even met you when I was looking for my designs to build my duck boat. And I don't know if you ever saw my big one. The 19-footer.
I don't know. You might have had a gold shop at one point.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So then.
But so my interaction with Boss was like, we were up at Game Fair the first year you had built some.
That was Oh, that was the year before in 18.
Yeah.
We weren't even exhibiting there. Corey had
So
the
Loeffler
stuff.
had some shells, and I was like, hey, I got this buddy that's building these shells. Like, check this out. And so then we started following what you had going on.
Yep.
And then, I think you came through the booth, and one of the guys was like, hey, the owner of Boss is looking for you.
That was the year later. Yes.
Yep.
Because it was one of your guys who was helping you that must have gotten that stencil and painted the logo on the inside. I was looking, I'm like, this, because I'd already had my big one built. Like, this is a pretty cool idea, but I think we need to do something like this. So that's where I sent you that original file. And it's kind of a hybrid, right? Because your same shape was still
So
left.
You were wanting a boat bigger so you and Landon can hunt out of them together.
With a dog.
With a dog.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then it turned out to be that the first one was a 15-footer. Then you built a 16-footer for Tyler, and then you built me a 17-footer. So I've got I've got 10 of your boats now.
Yeah. I think you own more than I do. Yeah. They're somewhere around here. Yeah.
So then what we did was we got those motors had Trash Daddy motors, my buddy Jason, who builds his own surface drives, that I tried getting other people to, Jason try to ramp up, and I'm like, hey, you got to talk to Jake Powell, you got to, get going with something here.
Yeah.
And he never really did anything.
No, he never really took.
So now we're going smaller with the Jake PPFs, and I will say that I do hold the world speed record for a PPF powered duck boat at I believe it's 26 miles an hour. I'll show you here when we're done. We should, Mason, can you put a clip in of the world record run?
The world record.
We're going to put that in. It was amazing. It was a Predator 212 with a cam, high compression piston, ported polished cylinder head, big carburetor, a loop go-kart exhaust pipe on it. So now,
and what hull was that on?
That was on a 12-foot low John boat. So we were talking like
tin can,
yeah. But I would imagine that this, with the 10-footers, I think we can go faster because it's got a true flat bottom, hard chines just like the John boat. But the problem with that thing, and I just found out last night talking to Jake, is that the anti-cavitation plate angle was wrong, because that thing would ride so high, like almost like a surface drive.
Yeah.
It would blow the prop out of the water, and when it would do that, the back of the boat would fishtail, and you'd almost swamp the thing, like going 26 miles an hour or whatever it was. We'll have to, I think I've got it looked up. I think it's 26 miles an hour.
So helmet and a life jacket.
Yeah, so we were going to start off by having these 8 boats out at duck camp. We can get to the marsh in areas that we can't easily get to in the side-by-sides.
Yeah.
So last year at the end of the season, we said, we need more water in the property, so we're going to flood the whole thing, and we need to have little county line boats with Jake motors on them to be able to get around.
Yeah.
So I kind of totally forgot about this. A lot going on this year.
Just a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah. And then you messaged me a week ago. You said, hey, man, I'm going to be up on next Monday with these boats. I'm like, all right, cool. So then yesterday, I'm like, hey, man, I need to be able to give you a check when you come, like, where's the invoice? And you said, well, you already paid for them. I didn't even remember that. So that's how like,
you ordered them back last November. And you're just like, yeah, whenever I get them. Yeah.
So they're here now, and all of the guys, there's about a solid group of 6, and we have people that come and go at duck camp, but the main group, we all name these boats, and we're gonna for each other. So we kind of got our boat names picked out for one another, and we all thought, like, we're just gonna have all stock motors. So I ordered 2 24-inch Predators, or cubic cc not inch, and we were gonna leave them all stock. But then I had an idea to, like, make a sleeper where I was gonna gut the factory exhaust and, like, port the factory carb or overboard the factory carb, change all the guts, and, like, really go at it.
Shocking Brandon would go overboard.
Well, then last night in the group text, my son shares the list of all the parts he is putting in his motor, and he challenged me by saying he's going to break my record.
Oh.
So
if
right
you know
now,
anything about Landon, I follow him on Snapchat. The amount of scooters and
he knows how
to go fast.
He knows how to build horsepower. So Mike Clements, Mike. I think you know Mike, don't you? You ever met Mike?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he's
the guy that takes care. Is he take care of your place?
That, yep. And he's probably one of the smartest people that I know. Like, the guy is a genius when it comes to whatever. If he doesn't know anything about it, you come talk to him, and the next day, and he's a resident expert on it. Yeah, the guy is super intelligent, and he's smart enough to know that he said, I'm going to put $100 bet on Brandon. So there's some things that Jake and I are working through that Landon doesn't know, but my record's going to be beaten by myself.
You can't let your kid beat you.
No,
yet.
Not
He's
yet.
Still too young for
not
that.
Yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
You let him beat you at that, it's over with in life.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, all right. So with County Line, you ended up making the switch to go full time.
Yes, sir.
And that was with, how many boat designs did you have then?
So we had the Boss design, which we came up with, and then the original design still. So, like, we still
the original you made it. Didn't you make? What's the smallest you made that in? Was it 9 or 10 foot? Was the smallest?
10. So that original design's at a 10, a 12, and a 13. And then once we jump from that, we go to a 14 and a 16.
So the 15 that you originally made, my number one, doesn't exist anymore.
Not technically. I mean, it can still be done. We've built a couple this year, but We just tried to simplify things.
And the 17 isn't made.
No, we don't make a 17 anymore.
How many 17s did you make?
Like 2, I think.
And I got one of them.
Yeah, and you got one of them.
So then what you did was I talked you into doing the radius chine.
Yep.
Because it won't slide.
Yeah, it won't slide in the corners. Yeah.
And that was the real thing.
Yeah, it does not slide in the corners.
So now what you do is you've widened it. So before, I think those are 48-inch bottoms.
Yeah, yeah. So
and I did limited hunting out of it. I probably only hunted out of those boats maybe 4 times total, because right about the time I got the first boat, we were still hunting public. Then I ordered the bigger boat so we could hunt a third guy in it, and I bought the duck property. So we only used that the first year. So that'd have been 2020. So now Justin OB has my
he's got the
17,
right? Yep.
Yeah, and then CJ has got the 15.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what they do with them.
I think CJ runs the fire out of that thing, sounds like.
He got a ticket because it was never registered, I guess.
Well,
because
it was
COVID.
registered at one point, but it's not. Yeah. You'll have
so we're working on that.
You'll have that.
Yeah. How did that work? We ended up, I refused to go to the Secretary of State wouldn't even let us have boats during COVID.
Yeah.
So you registered it.
Yeah, I registered in Missouri for you. Yeah. Yeah.
Under your name, and you just brought the title today, so we did the CJ.
Yeah, that was back when you said they wouldn't, you couldn't even have a boat with a motor on it because you had to stop and get gas. You could paddle a boat, but you couldn't.
They didn't do that shit in Missouri.
No.
Yeah, you couldn't. No. So then it was, you couldn't be in, after you were allowed to have a boat with a motor. Yeah, because at first it was a paddle power or wind powered boat only.
You could go outside, but you couldn't run a motor. Yeah.
Then we were allowed to have the boat with a motor, but only with immediate family. So they were checking people's IDs if they were fishing with friends, and they were supposed to be writing tickets if you didn't have the same last name.
What a wild time to be alive that was.
Yeah, it's so stupid. And everyone was taken for a ride except Dirk and I. Right, Dirk?
6 feet, buddy.
Yep. There's a picture. Maybe we can put that photo up of when social distancing came out. Dirk and I sat in these chairs like the world was coming to an end by the minute. We were listening to Fox News or getting the updates, and they said this 6 feet social distance. So Dirk and I end up pushing our chairs apart, and I have a tape measure, like whatever.
Well, hopefully that never happens again in our lifetime.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously the death and everything was terrible, but I think it was all a lot of it was bullshit. I saved Jeff Stanfield's life in the process too. Did you know about that?
No.
So he was, I'll never forget, I was pulling into work one morning, or in between buildings, or no, because we didn't have the other building yet. I was coming back from somewhere because it was probably like 10 o'clock in the morning. It wasn't just getting there. And he was telling me that he was going to get his COVID shot. I'm like, Jeff, don't do it. Don't do it, man. Like, that thing's going to kill you.
Yeah.
And afterwards, he started off like, I'm going to do it. It's safe, this, that. And then by the time he was done, he's like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to do it. And now he'll tell you, like, yeah, that would have got him. 100%.
Finished him off. Huh?
Yep.
Mm.
So, life-saving award. First
Crazy.
One I ever earned. Yeah. Okay, so COVID. Yeah, so COVID was COVID was the best thing that ever happened for our business. And I think we were talking earlier this morning. You said the same for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
How?
Just people were spending time out in the outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
And
do you think so? We've seen the last couple of years since, so COVID was like one of our best years ever performing was those COVID years.
Right.
For us, it was exponential growth. We were selling everything that we would produce within 15 minutes. On a slow day, it would take maybe 30 minutes to sell an entire day's worth of production. People were on the Facebook page, looking at the schedule. Hey, what I want is going to be made on a Wednesday, so we'll call Wednesday type of thing. And you were completely covered up because at the time it was just you and one other helper, right?
It was just me at the time. Yeah.
One man band making as many boats as you could.
Yeah, working 6 days a week, sun up to sundown. Yeah.
So as far as production, we look back and I can see how many shells we produced, during the COVID years. Are you, when you produce boats now, are you at those levels, or is it kind of tapered off a little bit?
It's tapered off. It's even back out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, some of that I think is just the inventory that was produced at the time, still good inventory. So
Yep.
you still have a used market there.
How often do you see your boats come up for sale?
Not very. Even still to this day, it's kind of hard to even find a used one. So
Yeah.
most people that buy them keep them. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now you told me that the small boats that I just bought now make up smaller percentage of your
Yeah,
business. It's
absolutely.
all the bigger stuff.
Yep.
So you kind of fit right in. So it's not like an Arkansas style, Mod V John boat for getting in and out of the timber.
Right,
It's
right.
for hunting,
Yeah, absolutely.
and that's the kind of the niche that you've filled.
Yeah. Yeah, so most of our client base is either in the north, and then in the last couple of years, it's been a lot of the East Coast stuff, which actually that kind of style boat has been over that way for a while.
Hunting what kind of water?
Just coastal marshes and
Okay,
like
they're not going out in the Chesapeake doing stuff like in the bay with those,
maybe,
are they?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've got a picture of a guy holding a striper with the Statue of Liberty in the background from this spring.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. It looks fake, but it's not fake, I promise.
No kidding.
Yep.
Huh. So East Coast now and northern.
Yep.
Not much down south,
Not really, no.
but you're fine with that.
Yeah, I'll sell them to whoever, so yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So tell me about, because you've always talked about Cheyenne Bottoms.
Mhm.
And that's where you did a lot of was that your public land hunting?
We went out there a few times, but yeah.
Okay.
Mostly in Missouri. We've got Missouri set up with like 15 heavily managed waterfowl areas. And so that's where we do most of our hunting. So those are a morning draw. You show up, you get in line, pull a pill. If you get in, you get to hunt. If not, you gotta go find someplace else.
How many boats did you, well, not like specific numbers, but did you showing up with your own boat at those draws sell more product? So people are like, I want one of those.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. And I've got some guys that I'm pretty good friends with that hunt way more than I do. And I don't know, who knows how many boats they've sold for me from just being out there and people seeing them in action.
So was that a pain in the butt to get like Coast Guard approval for buoyancy and all that whole thing?
Not really. So you apply for your HIN numbers, and then they come out and do an inspection and make sure you're kind of under the right standards or whatever. And then they come out every so many years and just kind of do a walk through the shop and check everything.
Did you have to do like the dunk test where you sink the boat?
I
and that whole
didn't. You
thing?
can. They used to do. Now you have to. They used to would buy boats and test them, or you would have to take them up there and test them.
They went away from that.
You can still take them up there, but we never really did. I mean, they send out an inspector that basically they've got formulas you got to follow to put the right flotation in, and based off of pretty much looking at the boat, he can tell whether and he looks at your formula, your math, and makes sure you did it right.
And the flotation, that's not mandatory, is it?
It is now. Yep. So
You-
Coast
so-
Guard used to offer a shallow water exemption for boats that were only supposed to use in shallow water.
Okay.
And I think last year it officially came into play. So like all your major mudboat dealers, you'll know, like weren't putting any flotation in
Yeah,
it.
because it waterlogs.
Yeah, and they could just build an open John boat.
Yeah.
Well, now every manufacturer has to put some sort of flotation in.
Enough to exceed like the buoyancy of the hull.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So what's the restriction? Like at what as like a certain foot length of
Yep.
boat?
So anything over 20 foot.
Okay.
So some of them are going to we're building 20 footers or bigger, but anybody else that's not, like a lot of these guys had to completely redesign.
So if it's over 20 foot, you have to have foam.
You don't have to have foam. If it's under 20 foot, you do.
So even an 8-10 footer has to have foam in it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're kidding.
Nope. Yeah. So from right out of the gate, I was going to make them Coast Guard approved, flotation and all that, because I actually lost my little brother in a boating accident when he was younger. So like the safety aspect of it and making sure they're safe is very, very important to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what did you do now? So what are you doing?
So when it came out, it didn't affect me because I was already compliant.
Are you pouring the AB?
Yep. It's all
Okay.
expandable, 2-part closed cell foam. So,
Yeah.
And we put it in areas and then seal those areas off so they can't get water in them, so they won't waterlog.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, still, water finds its way getting in everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, eventually it's going
I've
to
got
rain.
a 1991 TDB 17, one of the originals, that oddly enough we were testing the boat that kind of spawned the whole idea of making a version aluminum that I gave to you.
Yep.
We were testing it for the first day. After lunch, Tilly and I were just chatting. This guy comes up to us and says, "Hey, is that your guys' duck boat in the parking lot?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "All right, well, I've got an old TDB." And at the time, I didn't know what a TDB was. This is like maybe 2015 or 2016. And he ended up taking my number down. 3 years later, he calls up and says, "Hey, my dad's getting older. He's in his 80s. He can't get in and out of this boat. If you want it, I'd like for you to have it." So it was the original TDB that was marsh colored. So I got it. I'm like, this thing would be a cool layout, like a open water boat. It was actually 2019. Yeah, it was 2019 because I ended up ripping everything out. All the foam inside that thing was completely saturated. So ripped it out. We were making like a little mini center console out of it. Got the blind all up, repainted everything, re-rigged everything. Never even ran it because I bought my duck property in White Pigeon and have not hunted anywhere in Michigan since. So it's really cool little boat, but it's never even been wet since I've had it. But just one of those things I need to get around to it. It's got a 70 horse on it. I think it'd fly. Sick. Yeah, but that was my whole thing with foam. I ripped all that out.
Yeah.
Put gas tanks in there instead.
Yeah.
But will it really does that buoyancy really help?
Only when the boat's full of water.
Yeah, but even then, like you put gear in it, this, that. I mean,
that's where the load rating comes in.
So you have to be able to full load, be able to have the boat be neutral.
The load rating on that boat is that foam is supposed to hold that boat. It's at the surface of the water for I think it's 24 hours with that much weight in the boat.
Okay. And your stuff passes all that.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. So, pivoting, let's talk about duck hunting. You've been doing it for how long?
As long as I can remember. I think I shot my first duck when I was like 7 or 8.
How old was Levi when he shot his?
Oh.
Even younger?
6 or 7, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, will you put him in, when you guys go out, will you put him in his own boat?
Yeah, absolutely. So I run a double rig. So this year I'm running a 1344 and then one of the 10 footers. And so Levi will run the 10 footer and I'll run the 13.
What motor does he have on it?
It'll be a 6-horse backwater. Yeah.
Just a straight 6-horse?
Yeah, nothing crazy.
You're not going to stage 2 it or anything like that?
Maybe, I don't know. Eventually.
Maybe
Maybe
Landon can build him a motor. So how many days a year do you get to hunt anymore?
So I try to hunt. So we'll start with early teal season in September, and then we'll shoot snow geese all the way into the spring. So last year we started the year before. So we started teal season on September 1, and we shot our last snow geese on April. It was the day before It was the day of youth turkey season in Missouri.
So will you go out during the week?
Yeah.
How far away do you have to travel to hunt?
So our camp's like 2 hours from my house. So we'll go down there and stay the weekend or whatever. And then there's the closest place that I can hunt to my house is about 45 minutes away.
Okay. So you got a little bit of a poke.
Yeah.
So will you go hunt in the morning, then get back to work in the afternoon? Or what?
Yeah. Or we'll just work longer days if we need to and then take a day off or something like that.
So how many guys do you have now working with the...
So there's just 2 part-time guys that work for me now.
And you're doing... You have your own table, so you're cutting your own sheet metal, right?
Yeah. The only thing we don't do is we don't form the holes for the 14s and 16s because we don't have a press brake big enough for that. So everything else we're doing in-house.
So that's one sheet that you end up... It's 2 halves now, right?
So on the 16, it's 2 halves, yeah.
So you'll go 2 halves, so you get a big, giant sheet of, 50-52 is that what we're using?
Yep. And so those are made out of a 48 wide sheet by 16 foot long.
So it'll have the chine rolled in it, and then the cut for you to marry everything up to the bow.
Yeah, so we'll do a 1-inch break up there. So in the center seam, we'll marry those two together and weld them inside and out.
But then everything else, all the cutting, welding, fab work, all that, that's all you.
Yep.
And your part-time guys.
Yep.
Finishing work, painting, everything?
Yeah.
All right. So how many boats can you crank out in a season?
So I think last year we built around, it's a little over 50.
50.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That rain's pretty loud. It's just, where's that coming from? Huh. Yeah, a little storm moving through. All right, so 50 boats. That's
Yeah.
one a week.
That's what we shoot. That's what I shoot for. Yeah.
Do you ever think you're going to be able to build that many?
No, I never thought we'd build that many. No.
And the market's not saturated yet.
Not really. So we're constantly trying to evolve. So we made the 16 bigger to fit that need. We're also offering like a John boat style boat now, just like a basic.
Like the one that I saw at the mud run we did several years ago?
Yeah, even more basic than that. So it's a 50-inch bottom, 22-inch sides. We're building it in a 14 to 16 footer. Just an open John boat, basic.
Yeah?
Just
All welded.
All welded.
Nice. All right, so have you been out teal hunting yet this year?
Yes.
How did it go?
Not great.
Too hot?
They pushed through. Like, we got a really good cold front. They pushed in, and then they just kind of pushed through. The numbers are down significantly.
For teal?
Yep.
Why do you think that is?
Just because it's dry on the prairies. That's really putting a damper on things.
Yeah. But you guys have water where you're at for this year,
Yeah,
right?
so most of those places we hunt pump, and then we actually got quite a bit of rainwater this spring, and they held it, so that's been good. So the last couple of years, it's only been on places you could pump, and so that made things pretty tough.
Yeah, it's been dry by us. We got EHD that's killing all the deer off, and they thought it was just going to be a one-time thing. That we probably had, I think CJ said, like between 50 and 60 deer out on our property die.
Holy cow.
And because we're in a river bottom, so when everything dries up, all the deer kind of congregate on our property, and they'll get in the ditches, and they'll be floating just dead, because I guess that EHD, whatever it does, it makes them want to go to water.
Yeah.
And they'll end up dying. So now it's moved one county over, and it's back in full force out there on the property again this year, just because there's, even though it's in the river bottom, it's water's so low, it's been super dry.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. But I think that for us, the way the weather patterns are kind of shaping up, Mike tells me that this is going to be like 2020 all over again, which was our best, most productive year out there at the property. So
yeah, this year's looking a lot better. Like there in Missouri, I think the drought's like technically over.
I haven't even looked. So like, our duck numbers for everything down, or was just teal?
No, everything's pretty much down. There's a few species that did a little bit better, but for the most part, everything's down.
From its peaks over a couple years ago, but historical average, we're still up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You have any big trips planned or no?
Not really this year. Levi and I actually got an opportunity to go down to Argentina in June, so that was a pretty big trip. So we did that, and so during duck season, I think we're gonna have to stay close to home.
Yeah.
So,
What did you guys do? Doves?
We shot ducks and doves. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where were you at in Argentina?
We were in Buenos Aires to start with, and
Yep.
then Tucumán, Providence is where we shot doves.
I've been to Tucumán.
Talk about some doves. Holy smokes.
Yeah, it's pretty cool out there.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for hunting.
Oh, you should.
I was there on business. I was there for 3 days. It takes a long time to get to Argentina.
It's like 24 hours worth of travel. And
Uh-huh.
Levi had never flown before, so, but so we shot 8 different species of ducks while we were there, and then we went over and shot doves. And the second day we were there, we all shot 1,000 doves in one day. So Levi,
Nonstop.
14, he was the youngest. I think he's the youngest person for Pointer Outfitters to shoot 1,000 doves in one day.
He shot 1,000?
He shot 1,000 doves.
His own.
Yeah, he shot 57 boxes of shells in one day. On
20 gauge?
Yeah, he shot just as many times as I did, which is kind of sad.
Hang on, 57 by 25. His hit rate, that's like 75%. He was dialed in.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what'd you guys do with them all?
They take care of them for us.
Do they really?
Yeah.
How many days of hunting was that you did?
So we did 3 days there. We duck hunted one morning and one full day, and then we switched and then we dove hunted, shot parakeets, and then shot pigeons.
The parakeet thing, the little green birds. That's a big thing down there too, huh?
Yeah,
Did
they
you?
hate 'em.
What kind of ducks did you guys shoot? Those rosy billed, those things.
Yeah, we shot rosy billed. We shot their form of teal, widgeon, pintails, shovelers. There was one other.
And those bag limits are pretty generous, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were, their duck hunting wasn't that great at the time, but it was really warm and they had a lot of water, and it was kind of early in their season, so we didn't see a lot of ducks. But the self-imposed limit for them is 25 per person per hunt.
Self-imposed. That's just recommended.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So is it same type of thing, like decoying birds, finishing birds, just like we do here, or is it pass shooting?
No, it's decoying.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting because there are different subspecies we have here, but like the pintails acted just like our pintails. They were just a different subspecies.
They're teal fly just like ours.
Yep.
They go across as soon as you shoot. They go straight up.
Yeah. The widgeon acted just like our widgeon,
But no mallards down there.
No mallards.
How do the rosy bills? What do those things act like?
They say like that's their mallard. They kind of decoyed like mallard, but with a little bit of diver to them. I don't know.
And what kind of hunting? So is that like open water? Are you in marshland, or what?
You're
what are you
kind
guys
of
doing?
hunting like pasture sloughs almost is what it was like.
Really?
It was like cattle. There was cattle pastures around us, and then it was be like a natural slough off of that.
Interesting. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
So, what else we have with County Line Boss? Let's see here. So I got my 10 boats. There was an idea that we kind of talked about you to start thinking up for a prototype design that might be useful up here in the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
We should probably go to work on that one. What do you think?
We can start brainstorming on it. Yeah.
All right.
If it goes as good as the other Boss collab, I think
so
we'd be good.
Yeah. So didn't you tell me at one point in time like that Boss version of the boat was like 3/4 of the sales that you were generating there for a period?
Yeah.
And it's kind
right
of moved
now
in.
it's the majority of what we sell. Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it was a good partnership, and that's one of those things that Andy's been a buddy for pretty much the early days of Boss, and I don't see anything changing in the future.
Not.
You're a good dude.
Yeah.
Cool, man. All right. Well, thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Till next time.